Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's May 1st, 2026. I hope the day is treating you kindly. Happy Friday, everybody. It's supposed to be a nice weekend. Sunshine. Well, let us tap right in and get a storyline for the planetary circumstance, shall we? Apparently. This is like, what day is it? Day 8 of the countdown. Apparently something's going to happen by May 8th or 9th that has the curator and his friends upset. Something's going to happen. They're not ready for it. Planetary circumstance. What's happening? Spirit, what's happening with this planetary scheme of things? We've got some of our beautiful sage here to help us clear the energy. It feels like we're continuing to move through timelines or make shifts, jumps. Alrighty then, so in the central energy for the planetary circumstance regarding the people, well, we got the devil here. Temptation, addiction, greed. They got a little teeny tiny flame. In the challenge position. Page of Pentacles. Stable. They could be challenged by a younger, investing in something, having the opportunity. They could be challenged by the stability of a Page of Pentacles. You know, somebody looking for a quick gain, a quick fix. Their target is stable. Knight of Cups in the reverse. They're disappointed. There's no love. They want to turn out the love. In the subconscious, there's disappointment, there's jealousy. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. It's the song that's been spinning over the last few days. In the recent past, Three of Swords, heartache, a betrayal, a separation, some kind of trauma. Intentions and expectations. Seven of Pentacles, perseverance, harvest. So somebody wanted to betray you. Somebody's having a trauma. They're being separated from you. They know you're coming into a harvest, a reward, and you're a master with the Eight of Pentacles. Somebody's having grief because you're going to be rewarded. You've mastered yourself. You've mastered whatever it is that was tempting you. In the near future. Ace of Cups in the reverse. There's a disconnection. No love. Death. You're being disconnected from the living dead, the animated corpses. Your love, your light is, being disconnected from the dead who had been feeding on you, using you as a battery, as a source of life, light, energy. We've been fed upon by entities that chose to merge with the AI, whatever. So they separated from soul, the inner sun, and they've been having to harvest it out of the living because they need a battery. And God said this is the end of their relationship with batteries. They're essentially dead, and they've been sucking the life out of creation, trying to save themselves. You're liberated. And maybe they are too. We got the Six of Swords here. So there's a departure, a transition. Moving on. Release. In the environment. The Lovers. Romance. Ooh, the Lovers are coming together. Soulmates. So there's a disconnection of those who love. So your love is being disconnected from those walking corpses, those people who decided to merge with the AI system. Your soul will know, your SOL, your inner sun, will no longer be used as a battery to keep them alive. And you have a connection with a new soulmate, somebody who's also living. You get to share life with somebody now rather than be consumed by a dead person. Hopes and fears, we've got the Ace of Wands. Passionate new beginnings with all of that beautiful vital force that will no longer be siphoned. You're going to be able to utilize it for your creations. And the outgoing energy. Six of Pentacles. Generosity and charity. Sharing is caring. On the bottom of the deck, you got the Seven of Cups here. Choices. Options for the Star. So the Star may be receiving many love offers. Some of them could be a temptation, you know, but I don't know. Let's see. There, it looks to me you got choices and options in love because these are all love cups, right? For the Star, for the Rejuvenator, the Healer. Oh boy, we've got a Knight of Pentacles here. Reliable, steadfast, who has persevered. But it looks like we've got a King of Pentacles here as well. But there's the Hanged Woman. So there could be a Knight of Pentacles and then a King of Pentacles with the sacrifice here. We've got 8 of Cups, letting go and moving on. You're triumphing over it. Letting go and moving on. You're triumphing over whatever that is. This, yeah, okay? Because they had you bound to the foundation and they were sucking the soul out of you. S-O-L. They were sucking the solar plexus, the power center out of the people. And they were like draining people of like 50% of the light. Like I mentioned the other day, a couple of years ago when this got real serious, I was at the waterfront, and there was children, the Saturday market, and there was children running through the water fountains and everything, laughing and giggling. And I heard the commander of the angels say, Lucy, you have something to explain, because the children, their light was dim. And there was no reason for these children to be so dim, except that they had been being fed upon. That's what they were using, humans as batteries. They were sucking the life out of everybody, making them sick, and then putting them on medicines, and then using those medicines to claim everything in the temple, to drive the mind. Somebody's disappointed they have failed here. They're still going on and on and on about needing a relationship. They have to make an intimate connection or have some kind of an agreement or permission. Just like they say the vampires do. They have to be permitted to feed, to come into the house, the temple. They tricked everybody, you know, with medicine, opening the gates, tampering with the mind and all of that. Medicine was never about healthcare. This synthetic medicine, it was always about being used as a connector and a bridge to the temple, housing spirit and soul, shattering heart chakras, and then taking your place in the upper dimensional spaces and places using your spiritual identity. It's all been discovered. So we got the devil here. The devil, manipulator, greedy manipulator here in the central energy. They're addicted to your energy. They're addicted to your light. There's death. I mean, there's death in them. That's all they are. They're like a black hole. They're like a black hole. And these entities have been feeding our energy into this black hole system of death that they are with this AI. They joined forces with technology. I mean, they blended their organic system with technology and separated themselves from the soul, the light of the sun within you, within them. God said this is the end of their relationship with batteries. It's the end of them sucking the life out of us. Clown. They're a clown. It's the devil clown. Camouflaged. A performer. The devil is camouflaged as a clown. Somebody might be laughing at them. Somebody might be seeing whoever this codependent, toxic manipulator is as a clown. They're challenged by a Page of Pentacles who is stable. Maybe they've received an offer. So Page, to me this says the youngers that had been like on a payroll or that had been being used, paid to do deceptive things. Sweet and then sour. Sweet and then sour. Fake nice. Page of Pentacles. Sweet and then sour. Key to the core of the problem. So the Page of Pentacles could see that this person is wearing a mask and that they are the core of the problem. They're a performer. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Jealous. They're jealous. They're insecure and disappointed. There's no love. Gaslighted. Because they're a manipulator, they twist the truth about people. They mess with people's heads. They say they love and they don't. They're just a clown running around being toxic, trying to get vengeance on people. Why? Because they signed their life away by merging with this tech system. They twisted the truth. Three of Swords. So I guess that would be the second death, because these are AI augmented folks who exited the system of the sun, and they've been sacrificing the sun, S-O-L, soul of humanity, in order to fuel their existence for centuries. So somebody's getting separated out, divorced on out. They're undergoing some kind of trauma. Left on red. There's grief here. There's heartbreak. There's a separation. They're left on red. There's no response. You're not responding. You've got the Seven of Pentacles here. You're coming into a reward. You've been working very hard. And you've cut this clown out. You've cut them out. You're the master. You've mastered yourself. Craftsmanship is important to you. You pay attention to detail. You're not a sloppy freaking jackass out there pretending that you're actually producing a creation. You are that. You could, on the regular basis, be focusing on adding value to your soul by adding knowledge and skills to your temple. Cut them out. Cut them out. You cut the mirror out. Look. Because there's no depth. There's no depth. There's no root. There's no fruit. There's no flowers. There's no nothing. So they're getting left on red. They're getting cut out. They don't have anything to offer except trouble. They've been using people as an emotional utility. They dump all of their nasty karmic nastiness into loving people. So they're getting cut out. Divorced out. Left on red. Nobody's texting back. Nobody's bringing them forward. I heard the Divine Masculine state that they were looking for high quality rather than high maintenance. We got the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So there's a disconnection from love. There's an ending, a big transformation here with the death energy. No more love is being supplied to death, to the dead. So it's like those dead who had been perhaps unalived and then kept in this holding space to be used as puppets and servants by this devil clown in the astral realms or these other dimensional timelines to go play havoc with the dreamer, right? And it looks to me that this is being changed, that those individuals that were once being driven, by this clown have been emancipated also, and that now they're being paid to protect rather than to harm. So that means you're liberated from death and that there's no more love going to it. Those who have been claimed and given a position in the book of life got new jobs, a new way of being, a new purpose. I heard a younger talking to this curator when I got home. He's really upset. They're off in the distance now. They're moving away. And he's upset because he's telling this curator that the only reason he was powerful was because he was siphoning the life out of everybody else. He's really just a regular average whatever. In fact, less not because he's just cruel, man. He's still bitter, cruel. There's no love in him. He sounds sweet and stuff, but that is the exact opposite. These youngers that had fallen under his fold or whatever, they're not happy because they're still stuck there. So we got the Ace of Cups in the reverse. You're no longer supplying love to the dead or those people who had merged with the AI tech system, who had been using those living beings that had soul, S-O-L, the living sun in them, as batteries to fuel themselves because they had detached themselves from the system of life of the rainbow chakra. And they've been crashing, shattering the heart chakra, and then stepping in as a spiritual identity for centuries. So that is how they've been kind of gathering identities and wealth, energy. We have a no contact zone. Those men that had decided to merge with that system are no longer allowed to contact or be in connection with the divine feminines. Or those Jezebels who had confined themselves to that system are no longer allowed to merge with or contact the divine masculines. It's a no contact zone. No more love is being supplied to the dead. No more loving energy. So there's an enforced distance. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, they're going quieter and quieter. So we got the Six of Swords here. There's a transition and a departure, a release. You may feel a little bit of a vertigo symptom occasionally as we move through these dimensional realities. You're my drug. You're releasing those that looked at you as though you were a drug. You know, the endorphins, the fluids of a living body. It's the eternal youth serum, right? Elixir or whatever. They've used us as a drug, energetically, with our fluids, all of it. You're leaving it behind. So you are releasing, leaving behind the baggage of those entities that used you like a drug. They created all kinds of drugs in this particular realm and then introduced it to people, like smoking. I mean, in the 50s, they tried to tell everybody that, hey, this is a perfect way to calm your nerves. Oh, yes, doctors were pushing it. There were ads in all of the magazines. And then once they do that, they can say that you are the addict and that you have to be held back because you have no command of yourself. As the game they've been playing, so that they could keep their drug trapped here. The lovers are coming together here, a divine loving union. Here in the environment, the connection is being made. You might be entering into a romance soon. A blissful romance. And we've got an uninvited guest who is going to be eternally regretful because these lovers have come together. So the uninvited guest is eternally in regret because it's a forgotten person, somebody that you knew at some point in some previous lifetime that they unalived you in and drained your freaking soul, your inner sun, of its vital force. So now this is an uninvited guest. They force their way into the temple of the soul, the sun, the temple housing the soul, the essence of the sun, and they used you like a drug, a battery. They're feeling guilt. They're rehearsing the past, the mental scripts that they ran through your delicate transmitter receiver, your source connected communications device or original organic. They're looking at that. This uninvited guest is going to be an eternal regret for effing with your mental. There's a lot of, they forced you to pay the karmic debt for the blame and the guilt of their own deed. But you kept reincarnating, and now that cycle is coming to a close. The truth is seen. Ace of Wands here, new beginnings for the lovers. New vital force for your creation, the power of two, which when combined and settled and harmonized and tempered, oh, the magnificent beauty that you will be creating together now that you don't have 50% of your life force being sucked out of you. Yeah. So the thing is, so here you are, you're getting a new beginning. You're getting your vital force, everything that had been taken from you. They kept taking, at least 50% of your vital force in the temple. And then they kept cutting your life short so that they could harvest all those years that you had been allotted to live, right? Plus all of the wealth from whatever you were here to create and to provide, to share. They took that as well, and then they didn't share it with anybody. They rejected you. They used you as a battery, your vital force. They took your beautiful love. They rejected you, and then they went and shed that love with one of their dead people, their other animated corpses or whatever. They're just here to harvest the living. So you're getting a new beginning, and you're getting all of your vital force back. The truth hurts, and you're seeing things with clear eyes. They were feeding on you. And so you're getting, again, all of your vital force and a new beginning. It's been going on for centuries. These entities that decided, centuries ago to merge with whatever this AI tech is, and if you look in the Mayan tablets and whatnot, or drawings and stuff, you can see that they're there with their little computer screens and stuff, and it's like they're in their little ship or whatever. So it's like, I don't know where this technology came from, but those who have decided to merge their organic vessel with it, they kind of separated themselves from life, and they've been harvesting it for a while. And then they train the children to eat the animals, which most children don't want to eat that. They're like, no, it's the baby. They don't want to do that, and we're not naturally inclined to cannibalize life because we are that. Six of Pentacles here in the outgoing energy. There's a generosity and a charity. You might be gaining some kind of you might be starting some kind of a business, helping somebody start a business, sharing the wealth. You're getting all of your vital force back. Perhaps you're sharing the wealth. Yes. Muted, not moved on. So they silenced you, but you did not move on. You're still here, still hurting. Somebody might be hiding their feelings about this. They might be in the region or the territory or whatever. You may have a friend that's hiding their feelings about what? Your business. Somebody's in the region, they've lost their telepathy. Maybe they've been silenced. They've lost their telepathic communications. They're fake calm. They're wearing a smile. They're hiding their feelings. Your soul came back online. Somebody's fake calm. They weren't expecting you to show back up. Somebody's in the territory. There's a mole. There's somebody here. They're fake calm. So it's like they've lost their communications, their telepathics. It's like they've been silenced. They're sitting there. They're glowing and stuff. They're fake calm. Your soul came back online. They tried to keep you quiet. They tried to silence you. Twisted the truth about you. Rejected you. Blamed you for everything. Kept you trapped here as a prisoner of war and used your essence like a drug. Energy return. You're done trying. You're done trying for these people who never showed up. They never showed up, man. They got a contract in the ethers and the astral, and they never showed up. You've been here going through cycle after cycle after cycle of lonely freaking 3D life, while some jackass devil has been up there wearing your spiritual identity, spending all of your spiritual wealth with another dead person that had harvested somebody else's spiritual identity. They never showed up. And you're done with them. You're done. You're done trying. You're emotionally unavailable to them. They keep crying out, wanting help. They keep crying out to innocent people who are powerful. And you're the only one who can help us. Well, no. You're emotionally unavailable. You're done trying. It's been centuries. You've given everything that you could possibly give. And God said that these divine beings here, sons and daughters, have been too forgiving, too loving. And he's done. He's fed up and he's stepping in. He's like, you will not siphon these souls anymore. The souls are weary. You're not going to be destroying these souls. No. So you're done trying. Your soul came back online. God is calling you home. Somebody is here hiding their feelings about it. It might be, I don't know, we got fake calm. So I'm thinking this is somebody else because your soul is online. You're in alignment. You've got this beautiful energy return. And you've got somebody here, they've been shattering heart chakras and stepping in as a spiritual identity. This is a fraud. They're muted. They no longer have telepathic communications. They've gone silent. But they're still there, faking it, trying to make it. They're hoping you don't notice because your soul is online. You're the real deal. And they're like, oh no. You're seeing with clear eyes. This is somebody that shouldn't be there. They might be receiving some sort of charity. They might be a brunette. You might be a blonde. Take it that resonate. We got Queen Bee. You're a Queen Bee. So God is fed up with these assholes popping the question to this Queen Bee and then sacrificing her. He's like, you effing people are so fucking disgusting. She's illuminated everything, learned the karmic lessons Divine Feminine has. She's illuminating the truth of it. These fake, busy Jezebels up there, high, what is it? What did they call it? High maintenance. These high maintenance Jezebels that don't create, they don't produce, they don't share. Not without a huge profit, because that's all it's about for them. They're not divine. They're this. And that is the core of the problem. And the Page of Pentacles, these younger men, they know it. They know what this devil clown has been doing. He's been stealing their opportunity for a divine union by siphoning the life out of everything and using them as tools, living puppets. They're in their feelings. Somebody might be in their feelings. The fake people might be in their feelings. Wow. Those sex addicts were targeting the beloved children of the Most High, doing love spells on them to ensnare them and entrap them in this use you as a drug scenario. When they first came in a couple years ago, one of them said they should have loved them for who they are. You were their ticket out of here. It's like if they would have loved you properly or whatever, they might have been able to like level up with you if they had chosen. But they instead chose to siphon your identity, recycle your personality, and then they wrote a script for you lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. But this lifetime, you went off path. You decided to take a different route. Perhaps you lived a life of spontaneity. Perhaps you stopped making plans. And you jumped into the flow of the mother's river called life and just let her guide you. So you got the devil here. They got a little teeny tiny flame. They're a clown, a performer, massively codependent, manipulator, greedy. What, they wanted revenge on God because God wouldn't let them back in, wouldn't supply them with life once they rejected it. Once they rejected it, they couldn't get back in. They're mad. They want to take revenge on God because he won't let them use humanity or the children of the living as batteries. So they decided to turn us all into cannibals by tainting the food supply, by slaughtering the animals daily, by turning this whole realm into a slaughterhouse and a freaking brothel, and then getting us hypnotized and driven into participating this freaking clown show, and then deceitfully convicting us of being very low vibrational, low level entities. They're dead weight. They're literally dead weight. And they've been collecting your soul, your SOL, of your inner sun, the life of you, shattering your heart chakra, the emerald green of your rainbow chakra with the divine, and then stepping in as a spiritual identity. These dead people, these principalities. There's a transformation here. You're liberated from the devil, the clown, the dead weight. There's a liberation because of your transformation. They're challenged here because the Page of Pentacles is stable and has a new opportunity, perhaps an offer. They're challenged because perhaps this Page of Pentacles knows about this manipulative mask wearer. They could be challenged because this Page of Pentacles knows who the key people are and can verify the core of the problem. Sometimes it's bad decisions. The Page of Pentacles has an opportunity. They've been given an offer to point out the key people. They've been made an offer. God's giving them an offer. They can pass if they help solve this problem. Glow up is the best revenge. Transformation. And congrats, you made it out alive. So the Page of Pentacles is surviving. They're stable. They're getting a new opportunity. They're getting an offer. They're receiving an offer. They're making an offer. They're making an offer to point out the key people of this mask-wearing scenario, of this clown show, this dead weight. Maybe this page knows the core of the problem, of the manipulators. So we've got your glow up is great. You barely made it out. We could have potentially two people here that are together, the lovers. Yeah. Main character arc. Confident. You've got a comeback. You've got a resilient comeback. Look at that. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. So this devil clown, dead weight, is thinking about the Knight of Cups in the reverse. They're disappointed and jealous. They twisted the truth and manipulated you. Or maybe they know, you know that they're a manipulative, jealous, twister of words and minds. They're not loved. They're stagnated. They might be doubting themselves. They made you doubt yourself. They twisted the truth about you. You've been carrying this dead weight for a long freaking time, but now you're being liberated. You've been carrying the weight of this ex for a very long time. They twisted the truth of you. You did all that work. We got a page here who knows he's got his crown. He could be a prince, a young prince. Perhaps he's a young prince who, like you, had been sort of recycled through this loop so that these dead entities could siphon you and use you as a drug, as a battery, as a way to keep up the charade that they are actually a living being. These people have to get transfusions all the time. They have to replace the vital force in their veins because they're walking corpses. They twisted the truth about you, and you are free. You're free. You're unfollowing. You're self-care. You're like, look, man, you can't heal while in this person's energy. So you're being liberated from the dead weight, the weight of the dead. The Christed, there will be no more sacrifices to keep the dead alive. God came in and said, okay, who's worthy and who's not, and he's cleaning it up. And this is the end of them using people as batteries. This is the end of them sacrificing us. There's no more spiritual credit for idiots. You can't heal when you're in this energy because they're constantly breaking you and siphoning you, while telling God that you are this low vibrational, stupid person who's addicted to whatever. Retrograde. Everything this person did to you is going back to them. There's eternal regret for an uninvited guest. Rehearsing the past, a forgotten person, somebody. Yeah, so you are free of this person, and there's no more spiritual credit for them. It's seen very clearly. They had the opportunity to collaborate, to share the burden, to be in temperance energy. But all they did with that was create imbalance by burying temperance and then pulling up one of their other dead entities as a spiritual replacement. It's the blunt truth, man. Your glow up is looking good. It's never looked better. You're free of this, and that devil is losing signal. Because God didn't ghost you. He blocked this devil for you. They're being rejected. Every single person who comes to you and says, "May I enter your house, darling?" God says, no. No, 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 no. These people aren't going to come in and gain a contract with the trusting, the loving, the innocent, the pure, the easily deceivable, because you're so freaking loving. There's no malice in you. So God says, you've been too forgiving, and no, no, no to the devil freaking clown, because they're dead. They don't have any life force in them. They can't contribute anything to a child that you might bear, especially vital force. They don't have any. They're going to be held accountable. They're going to be getting blocked out of your energy. Mr. Guru, connecting to source through somebody else's harvested intellectual property, their mind, they're going silent. They owe you nothing but silence. They got to get out of your head. The universe said no. You're not getting her back. Forfeit the connection. Get out of the freaking chamber. This isn't your freaking council house, whatever. And look, this, your duplicate or your copycat or whatever the hell, she's getting a reality check. She's like, oh, no. Yeah, the real deal's showing up, honey, and nobody's taking her spotlight. You fucking moron. They really thought that this clown really thought that they were going to step right up. They were going to step right the F up and take your identity. Live in your beautiful energy by hurting you. But this time you fought back. This time you said, what the do you think you're doing? And a whole lot of people throughout the cosmos came up and said the same damn thing. They don't want this one. They want this one. They don't want this one. They want the real deal. They don't want this one that's sitting around looking sweet, smelling pretty, eating ice cream, not doing a damn thing except taking up space and fucking everything. They need a partner, somebody they can rely upon, somebody that can match their energy, somebody that can create something beautiful, potent. Step off the plate. They're dealing with somebody who's been left to fend for themselves while being abused for centuries. Somebody who did not announce their suffering, who took it on the chin all by themselves and still looked pretty. And messy doesn't mean powerless. She's not sitting around being lazy, eating ice cream on a sunny day. She's out there doing the job, doing the work, getting it done. And heartbreak does not recycle well, so it won't be recycled like a plastic bottle. God was talking, they weren't listening, now they're all crying. They're having a panic attack. They're losing signal. They can't connect to the consciousness of the original organic transmitter receiver communications device of the divine, the upper dimensional spaces and places, our star nation soul tribes. They're losing signal. Congratulations, you sponsored this circus going after the money. And now they're in Netflix jail. They're in stagnation, and they are realizing they can't sleep because they're realizing that everything they did to you, everything that they wanted for you, everything that they forced upon you and then took from you is good. It's all has to happen to them now because nobody's sharing anything with them. You're no longer giving love to somebody who took everything and then said you were a peasant, unworthy of anything except to carry sin, begging for mercy. But honey, you're not on clearance, and this fella's realizing he made a very bad decision. Choosing the fake version of you, choosing to glorify themselves on your suffering. Because you're putting that shit in the fire. It was not devotion. And you're saying no. Burning down the house. And yes, it sucks. No, you're not dying. Now they got to go through many life and birth cycles of suffering. And it's going to really suck. Because they're not going where you're going. Because they intentionally lowered the bar. And then tried to keep everybody, except those who were sucking souls, under it. You know, when I was a kid, we were really poor. And I didn't know it then, but these guys have been after me forever. In the 7th grade, I got beat up by 3 girls nearly every day at school. Nobody would help me. Nobody would protect me. Nobody would let me seek shelter in a classroom during break. They all pushed me out and made me just deal with it. Till I cracked. Burnt the house down almost, lit it on fire, got kicked out, moved out into the wilderness. And who the hell knows what I was saying? that's when the mother, like, just ran through me. The river out there that we got our water from was living water. It wasn't purified, processed, chemicalized. It wasn't any of that. It was straight out of the water. River, living water. And so that's what filled my temple. The devil is here, codependent, clown, dead weight. They're actually dead. They have no life force energy. And we got caretaker. You were their caretaker. You were their caretaker. You were here to help make life easier for them. You were here to supply them with what they needed. But instead, they decided to bury you and then suck the life out of you. They said you owed it to them. That's what God gave you to them for, or whatever. And I don't know who they think God is. You were their caretaker. They've been in your garden while burdening you with this dead weight. You're being liberated. The Page of Pentacles knows about the mask wearer, the core of the problem. There's a transformation here. There's a glow up. Is the best revenge. And the young prince or the young king is alive. He survived. And that's the real miracle. We've got opinions here about your loving heart. It's like, you know, I was thinking about that today too, about how the radio, I was listening to the radio, and it's like, it's the same stuff. And it's like people don't realize that we've been kind of held within a 40-year span of time. It's the same music over and over and over again, and people like their music, and then before you know it, their life is gone, and they've been living in the freaking 70s for the last 50 years or 40 years or whatever. It's weird. And it's like, they don't even think about, it's like, you know, regular people singing regular doo-dah-diddy songs out of their mouth when they're in the backyard doing yard work or something. I don't know, you know, everyday, you know, regular, natural stuff. It's like, that's not the stuff people are focused on. It's weird to me. They have all their opinions about your love. They want to trap you into a little box within time. They want you to be focused on a program of a personality, right? In the 70s, disco, woo, disco, you know, golden shiny things and roller skates or whatever, you know? And then they keep people in these little categories, and then they kind of stay for however long. But your love is so big, and they don't want it to get too big. You guys barely survived this. You know the key and the core of the problem of these manipulative people, these mask wearers, these dead weight. These people who all have an opinion about the strength of your powerful love. They say that it's too powerful, that you could destroy universes or entire cosmoses with it. But that's the mind of a devil. The mind of a beautiful, loving heart such as this, that is strong and willing to suffer endlessly, seemingly, to take care of dead weight. They know the power of you. They know what they've been doing to you, and they know how many of them there are. If you choose to stand up in love and with all that strength, and it's happening, God's like, you're releasing the dead weight. That's just it. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. You're being liberated of carrying the dead weight. You're no longer the caretaker of this devil, this clown. Liberation. Yeah. These people have opinions about the strength of your love. They're worried. Oh, she or he will destroy the universe. Well, that's not what creators do, man. Creators don't destroy things. They create, they beautify, they renew, they refurbish, they improve upon, but these others, they destruct, they break down, they mutate, they mimic, they pretend, perform, act. They've been shattering your heart and making a little necklace out of it. And they've been saying there's only this much love in the world. They shatter this huge heart into little teeny tiny gemstones, and they make necklaces out of it, and they beautify themselves, and they say, you see how beautiful I am? I'm so loving. I can love you. But they're actually operating out of a state of lust, wearing your love. And now that the truth is seen, it's like these guys are disappointed. They're very upset because nobody loves me. They're jealous. They twisted the truth about you, and now everything that they did, it all has to go back. And it's going to be bad. God is no longer giving spiritual credit to idiots. The kinds of decisions these so-called men did, so proud, so, strong, so full of valor, war, protect, but it's just weird, man. It's a secret garden. And I was thinking about this too. The secret garden, it's the one that lives within you. When you've been undergoing a mental kind of attack, like many of us do, you kind of have to go in, especially because you can't talk to anybody outside. So you got to kind of go in, you got to find source. And then you realize that the whole entire universe is in here. And that's where the secret garden is. And when the secret garden lives in here, and all your friends live in here, and there's love, and it's beautiful, and the flowers are in bloom all the time, and the waters are fresh and full of life, then you can start to see it in the eyes of the people around you, and it starts to come forth from you, and then everything around you starts to be imbued by the vision, by the very real creation of your secret garden. And that's what these people have been plugging into. That's your astral home. They've been playing in and defiling. It's like their favorite weapon of war is relationship and marrying into clans, and then tapping that mind, and then going in to the secret garden and kind of taking it over, consuming it. The caretaker. So they come in, marry into the clan, and then they consume the life of it, and then kind of destroy the secret garden. They're happiness haters. You got all this joy, all this inspiration in the secret garden. You're a high priestess. You and your prince or your king here. Look, these people were wearing your robes. These devils wearing your robes in your secret garden, kicking you out, making you go silent, shutting you off, cursing your crown, wrapping it up, stepping in as your spiritual identity, ruling your secret garden. Well, that's over. That's over. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. The blunt truth of it is that the divine could see who the devil is in this garden, this clown, this performer, that this caretaker has been carrying the dead weight of and is now being liberated of. God is here clearing out your secret garden. everybody who came in is these, it's like they got these weird, you know, because there's alcohol, and then there's these medicines that they use as hotspots, connection devices, and all of that to your temple, your house. And then they come in and they mess with the waters and they do all that crazy crap. God knows the truth of it. Going to clear out your house, your temple, of all of these phony balonies in the other space. All of the mimickers and the copycats. Those people, death, the animated corpses that have hacked into the mental body and then shattered your heart and kind of stepped in as your spiritual identity. Devils in your house. They like to marry into it. Once they marry, they get a contract, and with the energy, they can go in and do whatever they want to in your house. That's why they do that. That's how they destroy the tree, the root. They has the crown. They're like the bark beetle. They kind of come in and then they kind of and they devour everything. Your survival is has revealed the truth about the whole shebang, and they're no longer getting spiritual credit. They're no longer going to feed on you because you're the one that did all the work. You're the one that the energy belongs to. These are the ones that were siphoning up to 50% or more of you, and then saying, "Oh, she passed away. She had a sickness. Had some disease." What? Meanwhile, you know, they're still corded to your soul and kind of following you around lifetime after lifetime. Everything they did is going back on them, and it's a drag because this is all light they have. They don't even have the 50% that they left you with when you were there carrying the load of all these people. When you were stranded with nobody to help you. So there's a reality check. This is the blunt truth. God can see it very clearly. You've been carrying the dead weight of these performers, these clowns, these devils, these mirrors, who used you only when convenient, only when they needed to re-up the connection. Magician. You could be free of a magician. God has stopped giving spiritual credit to idiots. So there is some magic that has to remain because the creators create, right? But creators don't create with magic spells, with baneful magic spells. They don't do, spill the blood of anybody. They don't sacrifice anybody. It's just direct communion with source. That's how creators create. We receive our information and then we manifest it in the world. We build it. We produce it. We share it. That's what we do. But then you got these people out there playing magic tricks, trying to steal from those who do the building and all of that, saying they took credit for it. In the astral space one time, I went to this place and it was a big building. And in the building, there were lots of rooms. And one of the rooms was an art studio, but it hadn't been completed. Like there was still just bare boards and stuff up. Not even sheetrock or plywood or nothing. It was just the framework. And I'm like, why hasn't this room been completed? And then I was shown all of these boxes. They had paintings, really beautiful paintings that other people had submitted. And this person who was supposed to be, supposedly, this grand artist, had never even finished their art studio. They never painted a damn painting. They took it from everybody else and claimed credit for it. And it was this witchery. It was this witchery. And out in the back, there was a huge oak tree, and they had cut it down. I don't know what significance that is, but there had been a huge tree. It was a magnificent tree. It sort of stood guard over a meadow, and they had cut it down. And then kind of took over this house. And everybody's creatorship. Gatekeeper. making certain that you were never seen, heard, experienced. They wanted to bury you under the dead weight of their nastiness. And they did. They covered you in the blame and the shame of every nasty thing they ever did. You were their toilet, their slave. You can flush yourself, missy. You're liberated of that? So we got heartache here, betrayal, left on red. There's no response. Whoever betrayed you is not getting a response. Isolation. Everything they did to you is now going to be done to them. This mirror up there that has no depth. They're going to have to go find their roots. They're going to have to go find their roots, man. This is going to hurt so bad. Because they don't have the light that you have. I mean, they were siphoning up to 50%, I heard one of them say. But that's not 50%. The darkness they're about ready to face alone, I don't know. They're going to have to figure it out. You're getting, you persevered, so you're coming into your reward. You've mastered yourself. You pay attention to details. You're not faking it to make it. You're actually doing the work. And you did it alone. You did it alone. You were calling for help and nobody helped you. They laughed hard and then dumped more stuff on you. They laughed. They thought for sure you were going down, down, down. All they had to do was add a few more items to your load. They didn't think you were that strong. Offering. You made an offering. You might have offered yourself, your services, your wealth, your abilities. God may have offered you to a new family. God gave you a new family. God gave you a new family. You persevered. You worked very, very hard. You're very, very valuable. You're a master, an ascended master. And the offering was accepted. And now, death is knocking on these people's doors. God said, what was that in the Bible? If there was an innocent one or whatever, that he would save the people or whatever. Now, I don't know what happened, but you guys made it out barely. You got some glow up, the strength and the love of you. This is your person. This is your person. So God has this high value daughter or whatever, right? Who's got this magnificent love that these shallow howls and their cohorts kept shattering and stealing, stepping into your beautiful heart space here and then pretending to be you, pretending to be strong when it was you all along. So God made an offering of a master, a daughter who is a master, and it was accepted. Yep. And this Page of Pentacles, it seems that he's stable. There's some kind of an offer. He knows the core of the problem of the sweet and sour, the manipulative mask wearers. That's the real miracle. He made it out barely. Isn't that something? So there was an offering. So Yeah. You know, and it could be that the mirror was there trying to step in as this master, but the mirror doesn't have any depth. And the master went deeper than the adversary or the clown or the devil or whoever it thought. So the master went way, 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 way deeper than any of these devils did. The master's soul came back online. The master is being released and liberated of all of this dead weight. The offering of this wife, or yeah, because there's this feminine here that had been left on red and isolated. You'd been left on red and isolated. You had been betrayed and abandoned. And you were only used when it was convenient. This mirror is there, using people only when it's convenient. They have no depth. So God gave you a new family. Offered you to a new family. You're tremendously strong. You've been carrying the dead weight of these idiots for a long, 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 long time. So we got Ace of Cups in the reverse, and death, and no contact zone. Nobody's permitted to come near you. There's a block. They will no longer receive your love. That's the end of that. You've got a new family now. Big transformations. Maybe you overcame death. With the offering, you know, they say the Egyptians are like of the underworld, right? So maybe you were a sacrifice. Maybe God offered you to the underworld. As a wife. As union between life and death. The root and the crown. The tree has been stabilized. What is good for the crown is good for the root. Natural symbiosis can occur so that the middle ground can remain stable and free of devilish clowns. It's a no contact zone. For people who are here feeding on loving, strong people who have their mind together, their heart together. This energy is for, well, somebody else. No. Whatever you think of it. Natural order is being restored. True identities are known. The sun. There's enforced distance here by the lion. The sun. There's no more love being offered to the dead. Life has been given to a new family. Whoever these people were that had been abusing you and siphoning the life out of you, and then making you carry the weight of the dead, transmute and alchemize death energy, God took you away. He gave life to another family. And he took love away from the family that was mirroring you and copycatting you, and he also gave them this. And they're not allowed to come near you. He gave life to another family. Lots of people say, yeah, well, say whatever you want. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I'm just going to say, okay. 6 of Swords here. You are leaving On a jet plane, making a journey. There could be some kind of a journey for those people who used you like a drug, or used your energy like a drug, battery, or it could just be you're releasing the baggage of those who did in the past. In the past. In the past memories. So in the past memories, maybe you're receiving forgiveness, you're speaking up, and you're restoring balance. So you're covered by the rainbow. You're covered by the covenant of the rainbow. Masks. So devils wearing white robes. Devils wearing the shattered heart of a true freaking angel, and stepping in as a spiritual identity. Like, while the angel, the actual one, identity is here in the 3D alone, because they're wearing their identity, doing atrocious things. So there's a Six of Swords here, a journey, a moving on, a releasing, a departure, some kind of a transition for those people who were using your sex like a drug. These devils in masks and wearing angels' robes. Devils wearing necklaces from shattered hearts of angels. The lovers are here. There is a divine connection, divine love, union. This uninvited guest is going to be eternally regretful for whatever they did. And they made you carry the guilt and the blame for the life that they lived. They put all of that on you. They made the caretaker of their stupid freaking life, this devil clown. They made you carry the weight of the blame and the guilt for their karmic sin. They put it on you and forced you to suffer. But you were innocent. It was magic. And God is no longer giving spiritual credit to idiots who made you cry. Everything he did to you is going back. This Knight of Cups twisted the truth, leaving you there, twisted the truth about you. Yeah, it's all going back. They got to take ownership of what they did. They were listening in on your divine messaging, and then they were claiming it as though it was theirs. And they were twisting it and messing it and defiling it and you. While you were there in a Three of Swords energy. Separation, trauma. Nobody was helping you. You were isolated and alone while they were having a big party, laughing at your suffering. You're making your move? Yep. The uninvited guest is an eternal sorrow for making you carry the guilt and the blame of their stupidity in the past. You're making your move. You and your lover here are in a divine love. Ace of Wands here, a new beginning. Somebody unseen. They rejected you. They took your light. They took your vital force, your life force, your love, this beautiful love. They made a necklace out of it. They shined the light on themselves. They said, ooh, we're so great. But while sucking the life out of you, leaving you sad. And the truth hurts. You can see it with clear eyes. They drained the life out of you to fuel their own animated corpse, man. Now you're getting a new beginning. That whole experience there, you're getting a new beginning in the front of it and a new beginning in the back of it. It's like you're going to get your vital force back. All the energy that they took from you, you're going to get it back. Armored up. So you're protected. Your new beginning is going to be protected. These gatekeepers, look, these gatekeepers, you know what they did? They left you stranded. They left you stranded, and you were the healer for the secret garden. You were the one that they needed. Your presence is necessary. They needed you. But the shadow came in, and things have fallen apart for them now. You are protected. So you are protected by death, and they used you as protection. So some of those videos about Passover, what they say they do with the bread. So what they do to stay protected is shatter the heart of a beautiful, loving being and then protect themselves. They drape the necklace of this strength around themselves. That's how they've been protecting themselves. Your childlike, beautiful purity. So, we've got Six of Pentacles, generosity. Somebody is there, muted, not moved on. They're hiding their feelings. They're fake calm because your soul came back online. Your energy has returned to you. Things are coming back into an alignment, and there is a spiritual reset happening. And we've got rest. Some people might be getting laid to rest. That's number 38. After a time of furious activity, you need to allow yourself to rest. Be still and silent and rejuvenate. I don't know. It could just be that you're smiling. You're not really talking about it. But perhaps, you're not really talking about how bad it hurt. It looks like you need to be still and silent and rejuvenate. You need to allow yourself to rest. To take a step back and gain perspective, take a few irons out of the fire. Even the most productive people need to recharge. You need rest to be able to better tackle the next challenge or adventure. It will help you achieve more in the end if you relax now. Allow yourself time away from others to clear your mind of opinions and chatter. Find your own truth in stillness. So yes, you're coming in. You're getting this six of Pentacles. It could be that you're smiling. You're radiant. You're not talking about the things that hurt you. You're still hurting, but your soul came back online. You're shining brightly, and it's time for you to rest, to heal, to recover, to get a spiritual reset. Teachers, listen. So there could be that there has been some unseen teachers listening, or perhaps you are resting now and you're listening to the teachers. The fruits. You're receiving the fruits of the teachers. So be patient because the knowledge is coming back. These people attacked a high priestess. And now there are boundaries in the mind. These clowns will no longer have access to the mental body of the high priestesses, the empresses, those who have upper dimensional and these higher wisdoms and connections. These entities will never gain that access again. These gatekeepers left the healer stranded. They kept kicking her back. They wouldn't let her come home. They kept shattering her, sucking the soul out of her, the SOL, the inner sun, the healer, forcing her to alchemize their death energy. While they were in the secret garden, everything fell apart in the secret garden when they forced this to happen. Could have been some kind of a marriage. They betrayed this person from the get-go. And God said, you know what? This is done. He's fed up with it. These shadow dwellers using children to protect themselves from death in the past. He can see into the memories of it. Every time they did this to you. And there is forgiveness. You're covered by the Rainbow Covenant. And you're speaking up in the community about how they were keeping temperance. Maybe everybody can see it clearly now. There's a little goddess here standing between these two, so upside down, like they hung her upside down. They kept sacrificing these powerful love, this powerful strength, this powerful love of these two. And I'm speaking of a pair, but there are many of you. So it looks like your person may be younger than you, although obviously very skilled, obviously very powerful. These people have been running the community of the dead for centuries on the essence of these ones. This clown, devil, yeah, there's a no contact zone, so you're protected here. So we'll just get some of these and then. They're seeking assistance on stopping this woman from leaving this caretaker and this prince. They're being told that as long as he can't help them. They're finding a no every direction they go. They keep trying to find somebody to help them recapture the strength of this person. They want to recapture these two people. And they're being told no. So whatever you're doing is working. You're holding yourself together. And you're about ready to step through the door of no return. There's no going back. This is your last lifetime story. This is it. This is the final reset. They will no longer be using human beings as batteries to process their death energy. Your life force, this beautiful sun and this beautiful love will no longer be utilized to keep the dead alive. They chose to freaking augment with AI, man. I mean, it's not your responsibility. They said that your love and your strength was their antidote. That ain't fair. How could it be fair that they would suck the love and the strength and the purity out of this person here, while continuously trapping her person, keeping them from coming together? So the Page of Pentacles has all the information, the key people, the core of the problem, the mask wearers, who are they? These are the opinions of your big, beautiful love and your strength. They just think Divine Feminine is too damn powerful. They got to break her down and make everybody believe she's nothing. And that's exactly what they have attempted to do while siphoning the life out of her and forcing her to carry the weight of the dead. They're spiritually dead. They're devil clowns. That's why there's so much evil in the world. They're spiritually dead. And they've been forcing the strength of Divine Feminines to carry the burden while keeping her apart from her match. God is fed up with it. You're being released, liberated. Portal awakens. A portal awakens. A passage reveals itself. Step through with courage and wonder. You're being liberated. So the caretaker is being liberated from their dead weight of this devil clown. A portal awakens. A passage is revealing itself. So you're moving through timelines or dimensions. So there could be anywhere from 5 to 12 or whatever dimension that people are being kind of shifted into, and frequency, vibration. And I don't know how that's going to look. We shall see. Yeah. Isn't that something? But you and your beautiful love and the beautiful strength that you have accrued while carrying the burden of this dead weight has empowered you with exactly what you needed to not only manifest a magnificent shift, but this portal has awakened because of your energy, because of your love, because of this beautiful glow up. This transformation. And I don't know that he had too much confidence, because it says barely. It could be that this was some form of serendipity. Like he may have been trying for centuries to get this to work with you. But these people, these clowns, may have defiled you so brutally or greatly that it just never worked. But this time it looks like you were able to master yourself and persevere through some severe challenges and gather up a beautiful amount of strength and vibrancy, and the offering was accepted this time. And now there's a full reset and a new union. Everything's coming back into order. Fragments of infinity. You hold pieces of everything you seek within you. The universe is inside of you. You are the caretaker, divine feminines and masculines, wearing this beautiful, energy. Like, that's what I was talking about. The universe is in you, like the secret garden. It actually, in your mind and everywhere you see it, it's perfect. It's like, what do you got? You got meadows of flowers, you got rivers, you've got this, you got that. What does it look like? I mean, I don't know. Do you have wagons? Do you live in those indigenous communities or whatever those wagon trail things were, where everybody kind of circled around? What's your environment? What does your inner garden look like? Because that's what your vision, it's kind of strange, but your vision kind of morphs. Anyway, it's in here. And once it's in here, once you can see it, then it begins to manifest. Once you can feel it. And because the universe is in you, it's all in you, the offering was accepted. You're a beautiful soul. You didn't give it up. You mastered yourself. You got your glow up. You transformed. You took a path that maybe you hadn't taken before. You worked together, and maybe it was silent communication. The soul map. The soul map that no one else can read but you, because you're soulmates. So you may have been trying for a long time, and you may have been going through many MINI resets, but this time you were able to master yourself. They weren't able to shatter your heart. You were able to hold it together, put yourself back together, or be put back together. Reborn, rebirthed, manifested, changing. The mirror cannot mimic you. It's obvious who is who. Even on your worst day, their light is not up. The mirror doesn't have a light on. They don't have clarity within them. They can't guide anybody's steps. There's no depth. They have no roots. They haven't the experience or the success. The heart of it. The strength of it. The glow of it. So there's no more love for death. Death will no longer be feeding on love or life. This is an enforced no contact zone. It's an suicide mission, most likely, if anybody attempts to touch this heart of the sun. The offering, the accepted one. Velvet ending. It did not have to be violent to be final. But it is. Apparently. So we got the Six of Swords here. You're departing or releasing those entities that were using your sex as a drug. They were tapping into your spiritual identity and wearing your robes of purity while they sucked the life out of you and wore a mask. They only used you when they needed to re-up. This was the reality. They left you, that betrayed you. They came in, they said they loved you or whatever, and then they left you on red. They stranded you, tucked you away, dropped you into a lesser dimension, a lower dimension, and then siphoned all of your wealth and took on your identity. Had a party with their chosen animated corpse. They all fed on you. They all fed on you. This is your inner garden. They shattered your heart chakra, this beautiful heart chakra, and then they stepped in energetically and then tapped the mind and started being in your dream state. If you think of yourself in spirit in your dream state, they were commanding or agent smithing that identity. And you were getting punished here over and over and over again for the blame of the guilt, the shame of this nasty energy, this clown, this performer, this deadweight. They were always out there having sex with everything and everybody, and hurting people, spilling blood and all of that. And you didn't do any of that. They did it in your energy. They did it while wearing your identity, your spiritual identity. Blaming you. A ghost of you. This devil, this dead devil, this actor or actress, this ghost. They were pretending to be you. Isn't that crazy how spirit lets us see what's going on? It's like you disappeared inside yourself. Yeah. They kind of commanded your spiritual identity and made you suffer, made you carry the weight of their clowning around, their brutality. You're like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White. Somebody must have kissed you. Somebody kissed her. Oh, and the lovers are here. Divine love. Union. This uninvited guest, whoever the heck that was, man, they are sorry. It's an unspoken apology and eternal regret. Whoever this past friend was, an old friend from, long ago, this life or some other life, I'm thinking some other life, And they're rehearsing the past about all the guilt for the blame and the shame and the nastiness that this clown was out there doing for this devil. Making you, deceitfully convicting you of this stuff so that you would be stuck here. Look at that. They were all up there partying, having orgies and stuff, and then they were just kind of getting all their crap all over you, spewing it all over you, leaving you there isolated, and covering you in that shit, man. You probably had to purify for a freaking year and a half before whatever this is that happened. You're about ready to make your move. We got this divine connection making their move. These uninvited guests, this person of the past, they know what they've done, and they're going to be an eternal regret. Eternal regret. It's the second death because they're already dead. They've been siphoning your energy. They're not their own supply. They're, you know, they never did try to come alive. The pull. So you're about ready to make your move. The pull. That magnetic draw isn't random. Something is meant to meet you. The pull. So you could meet your person soon. You know, because there's dimensional shifts going on. Like I mentioned earlier, you could be experiencing symptoms of vertigo or something. There's a widening of the distance happening between you and the clown, the devil. Those who have been making you carry the weight of death while siphoning, while drinking your life force vitality. And wearing your shattered heart as a necklace, and then stepping into your spiritual identity and just being whores and stuff, letting the whole guard. They were pissing and shitting, leaving their dishes everywhere, burning the forest down. They didn't care. So you're getting a new beginning because they rejected you. They rejected their chosen one. And the truth hurts. You're seeing it with clear eyes, though. And again, you're getting a new beginning. We've got rest. It's time for you to rest. We've got rest here twice. And you are armored up. You're protected. The truth hurts. You never meant enough. They were just here to tap you, to siphon, to tag you, your rainbow, and then to siphon the essence out of it and dress somebody else up in it. Somebody else who was also dead. They gave them your golden light. They gave them your royal emerald heart. But you know better now. The truth hurts, and you know better, and you're just gonna, you know what? I'm just done. You're going on a new beginning, and you are armored up. You're armored up. A strange peace. You've stopped fighting what used to scare you, and that's growth. You've grown. You know how much strength you had to this is like a continual thing. This is like a daily 24/7 thing. You had to carry the weight of the dead. You had to generate more love and more energy just to keep from disappearing. And now that they have been cut off from your energy, that manufacturing of the love and the energy doesn't stop. Your instrument has been adjusted through necessity. You're very, very strong. So it's like your love may be bigger than it has ever been. Your strength may be bigger than it has ever been. your muscles, your ability to carry a heavy load may be bigger and more solid and more, have more capacity than it ever has. Look at all these people whose weight you've been carrying. So you could still be hurting from this. Your soul has come back online. Your energy has returned. You're resting. You're armored up. You have a strange peace about you. And I suppose that would happen. I mean, when you undergo so many shatterings, eventually it's just like, okay, well, you just kind of, it's kind of like a repetitive thing. You kind of get a routine after a while, right? And then you just start to try to improve on whatever your technique is. Spilled bottle. You say it doesn't matter, but part of you is still bleeding. And that is true. So, and I, consciously, I've been blessed with short-term memory. So it's easy for me to forget about traumatic things pretty easily. I don't know. It's like they just go somewhere. Because when you're under attack 24/7 and people are RAPing your mind and you're just trying to function, go to work and maintain your home, pay your bills, and, have your friendly relationships and all that good stuff. You have to internalize it. And part of you is still bleeding. It could just be a soul memory that you're not consciously aware of, because these lifetimes kind of blur, these reincarnations to try again. The offering, the get out of here. Finally it worked. Sometimes, desperate measures call for, or desperate situations call for desperate measures or something. So you may have, you may be smiling, but you may have like soul trauma that you don't really consciously know about. It could be, awareness could be coming to it because your soul has come back online. So you may actually be becoming more aware of those memories that had been hidden. It's time to lay those things to rest and heal from those. You say it doesn't matter, but part of you is still bleeding. The cosmos knows. Everybody can see it in your energy, most likely, even though when you're in survival mode for so long, it's like you don't really sit with the trauma of it, right? You're just kind of moving through it. You kind of got to develop some kind of a foundational system. You got to get a flow going. Clarity arrives when you stop forcing direction, and that's what you may have done. And that's what you may need to do. And it's what we may have done. Here it's like, where was that? You hold pieces of everything within you. A passage, it reveals itself through courage and wonder. And it is strange, when you're terrorized for over 2 decades, right? In the beginning, it may have been terrifying. I know it was for me. But when you're living with terror and mental RAP by hundreds of these nasty, speaking all these torturous things they want to do to your flesh and all kinds of pain they want to give you. Eventually it's like, you just kind of stop responding to it. And you're just like, well, okay, well, here's another day, and I'm just going to go about my day, and I'm going to do my thing, right? And before you know it, 22 years go by, and it's just like... So, lucid pathways. You stopped forcing the direction. You kind of went with the flow. The mother's river, right? And connections. You may be undergoing a sacred pause. It's not punishment. It's like a rest. Because you're still bleeding. You're still wounded. You're smiling and you're happy and you got so much joy and this beautiful love coming off of you. Your glow is amazing, but you're still bleeding. Your soul is online and you're glowing so beautifully. But you're still hurting. So God's giving you a rest. A rest. A new beginning and vital force. Restored. And in this sacred pause, the stillness is not punishment, it's preparation. For union. For connection. There could be a vanishing point at some time. Some endings are beginnings in disguise. This could be one of them. Particle events. Rapture. You've been feeding everyone but yourself. And you were fading. You were fading. You're still hurting. You're getting a reset, a full reset. That card says you're still bleeding. You could still have like soul wounds that need tending now that the trauma has gone silent. There could be some kind of a vanishing point for a starved soul. They said your soul was weary and that these people will not be destroying your soul. So it says now you're fading, but it looks like there's this thing. So it's like, this says, some endings are beginnings in disguise. So there could be some kind of a vanishing point, like this dead, I don't know, perhaps this dead weight. Maybe there's some kind of a vanishing point. Somebody's vanishing. And your story is still being painted across the cosmos. This is the last lifetime story of Earth Woman. And whoever these people are, they're going to keep calling out, but the only voice answering is their own. They were never coming. They're in some other dimensional space. They were never going to be here. They're in some other realm, traveling through these astral spaces of dream time, gaining contracts and cords, some weird, upper dimensional legal binding or whatever, marriage that they never show up in. Because they're in another dimension. You were buried alive. Here. While they siphoned all of your energy, this devil clown. While they were up in this space, wearing your energy also. Wow. So the barriers have fallen and what you seek is now within reach. You've got the key. And trust the invisible patterns of your life, the cosmic threads. You're the light keeper. You're the light keeper, and you and your person with this silent soul map were able to make it happen this time. You became a master. And you became a master of yourself. You're uber strong. And your person here, he knows everything. I heard these ones complaining. His father taught him everything he knew. They're very upset because this person is very skilled. This person could very well be could very well have been somebody that had been trapped somewhere. You both were buried alive in these other dimensional spaces and places, and it was like you were silenced and isolated. You couldn't get a hold of anybody, calling out for help. Nobody ever answered. Well, that seems like that's what's going to be happening to these people now. And you're experiencing a strange peace, a protected peace, a new beginning. And the truth does hurt, you know, because when you undergo cycle after cycle after cycle of trying to love people and winding up with a devil clown who just buries you under the weight of the entire dead energy of their animated corpse tribe. Damn, man. Well, everything they made you carry is going to go back on them, and that's going to bury them real deep because they don't have any light. They've been being protected under yours. So that's the message, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.